What began as simply another uncensored, chaotic live stream of Christian rock has now descended into one of the most dramatic, well-publicized, and tragic spectacles we have witnessed in a long time. What started off as a television drama has turned into a serious custody dispute with practical repercussions. The topic of discussion has expanded well beyond trivial online feuds to include child welfare investigations, emotional breakdowns, betrayals within families, celebrity interventions, court filings, and heartbreaking issues. Does Chrisean have the necessary skills to parent her child? Is this a case of media pressure and postpartum breakdown? Or are we seeing something much more dangerous happen right in front of our eyes? Live streaming was the beginning of it all. They were initially merely noisy and untidy. The typical Christian fare that followers had grown accustomed to. However, the atmosphere changed when her kid, who was lovingly called Junior, began to show up in the background, wailing, by himself, and unmoving. People began to suspect that they were no longer merely viewing a play. Perhaps what they were seeing wasn't meant to be aired to the entire world. Then the moment that made all the difference arrived. Some viewers dismissed the footage of what appeared to be a toppled baby bottle, an unattended wailing newborn, and Chrisean smiling, dancing, or arguing with individuals off camera, claiming that she was simply exhausted and attempting to maintain her normalcy. However, other people began specifically tagging CPS in her comments. Mothers, other parents, trolls, and ladies who claimed, "I didn't want to be the one to report it, but I couldn't sleep after watching that live," were not among them. Suddenly, the focus shifted from what we think about Christian rock to what we witnessed. Parenting TikTok quickly became quite popular. They were focusing on bottle hygiene, the mess in the surroundings, and even Junior's cry, which some people thought sounded strained, high-pitched, and uncontrollable. Pediatric nurses immediately jumped in to clarify the possible meaning of that. A side-by-side of Chrisean's life and best practices for caring for newborns was created by one influencer. "This baby needs help," said the description of a 90-second video shared by another mama influencer. The child is now the main focus, not the mother. At that point, calls to CPS began to increase. A 12-minute documentary-style film titled, "Is Christian Rock Unfit to be a Mother?" was created by one YouTuber. In 2 days, it received 4 million views. There was a combination of anger and grief in the remarks. Action was being demanded. Chrisean initially dismissed it with a laugh. She went live once more, saying that people didn't understand her journey and that it was motivated by hate and jealousy. Her voice was fiery as she replied, "Y'all are not taking my baby. You all don't know what I do in real life." However, even her admirers saw the change. She was more than simply noisy, she was nearly paranoid and protective. She then disappeared for 3 days. Just silence, no updates on babies, no life. No posts. At that point, the whistleblower emerged. According to a voice-modulated podcast guest who identified herself as a friend of Chrisean's from her postpartum group, Chrisean skipped numerous pediatric appointments and didn't have a reliable nanny, and once declared, "I'm not trying to be a regular mom. I am a celebrity." That audio was a blow to the internet. It wasn't only disorganized. It was horrible. The pictures followed. A blurry photo showed a CPS van parked outside what appeared to be Chrisean's home in Los Angeles. Before someone else matched the plants, the gate, and the driveway that were all visible in her previous live streams, people first referred to it as clickbait and phony. A sharper image then emerged. A business-dressed woman was approaching the gate with a clipboard. It was the same as her house. The rumors had ceased to be rumors. They were authentic. Officially, CPS had been there. In a tearful live broadcast, Chrisean broke her silence. With Junior in her lap, she sat on the floor and uttered, "Yes, CPS came. They examined my texts, my cot, and my refrigerator. I was doing my best," they stated as they departed. What comes next? Do you want blood? However, the internet wasn't finished yet. A purported voice recording from a CPS caseworker was made public by a blogger going by the handle Hollywood420. It wasn't good. The voice asserted that they were keeping an eye on the situation and that there were several reports and photographic proof that the living circumstances weren't perfect. The social media landscape changed. Even supporters of Christianity began to doubt their position. Trending hashtags included, "Where is the dad?" and "Protect Junior." Then, at the worst possible moment, Blueface entered the fray. He went live and said, "I didn't call CPS, but if they're taking notes, they're not wrong." After tweeting, "Told y'all I tried to save my son." He posted hazy pictures that seemed to depict Christian questioning. He would watch her while she went out. "I'll see my son when he's old enough to find me," was his parting word. Its coldness crushed people's hearts. A parent posted on Twitter, saying, "That baby doesn't have either of y'all." Next up was Chrisean, Saffold, Blueface's mother, who shared a mysterious Instagram story with a Bible and a baby bottle along with the words, "I told y'all, God don't play." She was suspected of being one of the reporters. She was accused by others of attempting to seize custody. All of a sudden, this went beyond Christian. It was a storm of generations. Immaturity, ego, toxicity, and trauma all collided in one small life that didn't ask for any of it. For a time, however, there was hope. Postpartum depression is real, according to Megan Thee Stallion's tweet. That it is a spectacle for Black women to even cry. Megan had offered Christian a therapist, according to a TMZ source. "People are so quick to judge but don't send support," Cardi B added. Christian was even defended in a comment made by Rihanna's former cosmetics artist. However, the shame was short-lived as a leaked court file surfaced just as sympathy was starting to grow once more. Temporary evaluation of custody requested, it purportedly stated. Mother is being examined. Christian then went live once more, but it wasn't sincere this time. It was caustic and irate, and viewers noticed a bottle of booze lying close to the crib when she unintentionally panned her camera. In less than 5 minutes, that video went viral. It was devastating. The last twist then appeared. Tessie, her own sister, broke down in tears. "I tried," she said. That Christian turned down her assistance. And she was no longer able to combat her ego. That despite her love for her nephew, she had to leave. The internet fell apart. What chance remained if her sister had given up? Zeus Network then issued an ambiguous statement indicating that they were evaluating the program and providing assistance. According to some insiders, they may decide to completely cancel her show. Some stated that they intended to offer her a new parenting and redemption series, but only if she straightened out. Then comes the last blow. One sentence was posted by Blueface's legal team. A custody petition was submitted. Let's approach this properly. This includes supervised visitation, house visits, drug tests, and possibly even a complete custody hearing. Additionally, Christian should cease going out intoxicated if she doesn't get her act together and tidy up her surroundings. Stop your ego trip. That child might be taken away from her. The internet is currently at war. People on Team Christian think she's just a struggling mother in need of support and understanding. Postpartum depression is real. Because attacks on the internet happen too quickly. Take that, baby, team. Some who think she has been unfit from the start. That this is neglect, not postpartum. Junior is worthy of better. That without stability, love is insufficient. And a child caught in the midst of it all. A boy was born into a whirlwind of chaos, violence, celebrity, and addiction. A newborn who didn't request live streams, followers, or notoriety. An infant who only requires safety, structure, and affection. Who will give it to him is the question. We have no idea how this will turn out. Christian might be able to get it together. Perhaps the courts will intervene. Perhaps Blueface will take the lead. He might not. However, one thing is evident. This is no longer an amusement. This is actual life. The stakes have never been higher. Because it may not be a live stream when the next chapter takes place. It could take place in a courtroom. Or worse. Remain locked in. The narrative is not finished.